Terra Luna Classic and Ustc are getting ready for a sizable pump. How good it's going to be? Well, it may not be what we originally thought, but I gave you a 40x as a call because I think that that's a fair number. Now, that's a significant gain for a lot of different people in this ecosystem, and we're about to hit what I think is an enormous cash inflow into this market. Now, it's been muted so far. There's been underlying factors. There's been the tariff concerns. There's been the bond yields. There's been a lot of different concerns in the United States on why the market has not really taken off and lit up like we anticipated. We were looking for that 4-year cycle bull run. We haven't really gotten it yet, although I would argue at 3.73 trillion as our max, we were $730 billion higher than the previous market. So we've already had upward momentum. This market just looks a little different than it did before, and we'll break that down. We'll figure it out, and let's go. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Before we get started, Trobits.com is your play. Now look, if you're trying to burn Luna Classic tokens, and we're all trying to burn Luna Classic tokens because that helps the ecosystem and it reduces the value of the remaining supply of your bag. And if that is the case, and if you can do this freely with ease, then it would stand to reason that if you support this chain, that you would go to a place that would do it for free. Ultimately, Trobits works on ad revenue. And there's an ad down here. There's ads all over this page that those are the things that generate the revenue for this website. So if you come here every day, just read the news, just engage with this content, then guess what? You will effectively be helping to burn the supply. Yesterday, 171,000 more Terra Luna Classic have been burned. I think we're going to work on maybe getting some totals and stuff like that. There's a burn archive right here, and you can look at it, and you do it by month. And it shows you, by the way, this was our biggest day so far, 184,000, 177,000, 183. It's really starting to move, really starting to get a good run going. And there is, by the way, the details from March. There's the details from February. And you can see how much more they're burning now versus in the beginning. But there's so much more we could be doing. All we have to do is engage with Trobits. So go to Trobits.com today. All right, Memecoin update, not really a lot of movement. 2% gain on Garuda X, 1.5% on Juris, 1.5% down on Cookie, a little less than 1% down on Terra. Like, just really not a lot of movement in one direction or another, leaving the bag kind of sitting exactly where it was before. Now, if I pulled everything out of Believe in the Terra Memecoin, I'd probably be up a tiny bit, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a move from TerraPump.fun. If you haven't already, JMC, by the way, is the hot one right now. It's up to 10 cents. Had a nice little move. Believe sitting at 3.46 cents. We're still up 3.5x from our original position, but there's more to go, and I need your help. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you use Believe. That doesn't matter. I'm not really worried about that. What I'm worried about is unbonding a couple of these, and we still have two, Blame and Rakeoff, that have unbonded so far. And look at the level of gain here. 54x for you right here, a 40x for you right here. Neil is sitting at a 26x right now. You've got ETX at 12x. You've got JMC at 10x. Now, if you look at this one, you'll see that J Money is just really kind of buying his own supply. So, I'm not sure the unbonding process is going to be kind of difficult right there. If one person is just buying up their entire supply. But that's what it looked like early on, is that he was kind of flipping them over and over and over again. And by the way, we could all be doing that. So I'm just pointing this one out because I happen to look, not because it's any different than any of the other ones. But we got Lunk Live here, just shy of 10 cents. Any one of these, we want to get unbonded. Once we get it unbonded, we get it out into the wild, means more people can buy, which adds to the value, the overall inherent value of the project. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. So again, buy yourself some Believe, buy yourself some of these other ones, and you only do it by swapping Lunk. All right, two proposals that are up right now. Clarification on entities with Terra Classic branding is not going to pass because it's decentralized, right? So there's no reason, and there's no central authority, by the way. There's absolutely nothing that owns nothing that can come after us or anything like that owns a patent or anything along those. There's no reason for this, which is why I think most people are voting no right now. But phased approach to liquidity on USDC is happening, so that's a good start to adding a stable coin that we can now trade on the chain, which is incredibly important. It would turn out. Now, as far as the market goes, it's doing basically what we said it was going to do. I would like to see a little more impetus, but we're at 2.67 trillion market cap right now. This is where the market looks. So if the market looks that way and Luna Classic looks basically the same way, then that means that we are moving in unison with the general market. And if that's the case, then that's a pretty decent sign that in the event that the market reverses, then Luna Classic is going to reverse along with it. So that is why I do believe that we are headed for this big move right here. Just to confirm over here, again, this is what this one looks like. I do think that there's another big move getting ready to happen, and the reason that I think about that is because of the global liquidity flow. This is a delayed process here. So when you get a pump like this, then a couple months later, that results in a flow into crypto assets. So we had this big move, we had this big dump right here. That would be this move right here and this move right here. Now, we had a dump come after that with a big hump right there. So we had a dump right here with a big hump right there. So the same thing that we wanted to happen has been happening. What we didn't see so far, we're seeing the beginning right here, I think, of this move. So there was that first kind of impulse, and then here's the correction. I think we're about to stair step our way up over the next couple of months, and I think we're in a good spot. Now, how far up and how aggressive this move is really depends on the continuation of flow and capital coming back into the market, and that's going to take a little bit longer. And by the way, just because it's going up, really aggressively right here doesn't mean that it happens in this market. We could see it kind of break out like this, like it could come sideways, and I think it's going to go parabolic and hit this 4.4 trillion target, but it could stretch itself out for a long period of time because the markets are in uncertainty. And what the markets do not like is uncertainty. So until we get some clarity from Donald Trump that we're past whatever is the driving force behind his policy decisions, until we know that we are past those, then we still have to worry about what might happen. So bear that in mind. But now let's break down that Luna Classic chart. So we've had a tiny correction coming back down. Let's check that out. The general trend is still to the positive and to the upside. We're going to stair step our way up here a couple times like that. We want that Elliott wave to happen. That's going to be the healthiest way for that growth to take place. And then what we're looking for, really, we're looking for a breakout. We're looking for a move, a continuation of this over a short period of time, just like this right here. We want to get this up here a little bit higher. We want to get to the top of this range. We want to break out above, get rid of that 3015 resistance that's kind of sitting right there. And then that's when we can start talking about moving on to some bigger goals. Now, first thing is going to have to be that breakout of that trend line. That trend line has held us firm for 2 years now. So a big break above that is going to be entirely necessary. We get that, and then the rally is on. We're up $48 billion on the day. Looks like the United States market might be in buy mode. It's early, so we don't know for sure, and they could, everything could change in, a moment's notice. But looks generally like we're going to have that happen. Now, I am still thinking that USTC is going to rally and run super hard at a moment's notice. There are, market makers out here who might be trying to hold it down or suppress it. There's also a lack of interest. We have to be honest. I've told you before, I'm not really bullish on USTC as a long-term thing at the moment. In fact, if you just and let me just break this down to you as simply as I can. I don't think we easily get back to $1, okay, without a serious, weird sort of reset or something like that. However, we were talking about this for a long period of time, and USTC has been kind of comfortable at 2 cents. Now, at 2 cents, if you go back to $1, that's about a 50x. And the upside of Luna Classic is so much greater than what we're talking about right now. So Luna Classic is the one that stands to give me the biggest return and the biggest reward. So I think that one is the important one. I hope that makes perfect sense to you. But we can use USTC and a big move by USTC to get ourselves and increase our bag of Luna Classic potentially, or something like that, or maybe cash yourself out, get yourself a few, make a few bucks. You know what I'm saying? Let's run this up to 3 or 4 cents, get up to that 5 cent range. What we need is that explosive sort of breakout move, and it could come at any time. And then we get, boom, a move here to 5 or 6 cents, something like that. Then we feel pretty good because we're about 5 up. And then Luna Classic would be dragged along with it. And then maybe we can flip that back over, get a bigger bag of Luna Classic, which is, that's what I think we all kind of want to do. So we'll see what happens there. Market cap up slightly, volume still down a little bit more. Not going to be very much burn, by the way, from Binance. The Binance burns are going to be really low because of this. Down to 5 million in volume over here and 64 million market cap. Still okay, but retail has kind of passed us by a little bit for right now. We need to recapture that retail, and that's where Terra Pump, places like that, that's where it all comes into play. And if we're not doing something about it, then we're missing a boat. Now, the big news, I think, here is the people are getting excited about the USDC liquidity proposal passing with flying colors. I think it's kind of gross, by the way, that they're just like, this is this one, and then this is this one. Lunk Z BSC, they just copy and pasted this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just copied and pasted it. Come on, man. So Terra Casino, by the way, big burner here, burned 2 million. We did pick a winner, Shill 0815, I want to say. And that person has won the $200 for Terra Casino. So congratulations, shout out to you. And let's talk about burns. 311 million over the last 7 days. That's putrid. It really is, guys. But we've been here before, and it's been kind of bad like this. So yesterday, only 13 million got burned. Day before that, only 21 million got burned. Today, only 11 million burned so far. What does that mean? Well, it means volume is pretty low right now. But the volume is pretty low kind of everywhere except for, so we're down to 74 billion. And, look, we're usually over 100 billion. So volume very low, and volume going into Bitcoin, going into XRP right now, going into Solana right now. So going into Ethereum in the last hour. But I think you take my point here. The bigs are getting fed, they're getting their money, and that money cascades down to risk-based assets. So we are a risk-based asset. So what happens next? Well, it is my opinion that the next thing that happens is we get a surge on Bitcoin and some high up altcoins. And then once we get that surge, then the next move is going to be a cascade of money appearing out of nowhere into more risk-based assets. Luna Classic right now, a risk-based asset. So let's see what happens over the next little while. I think that we're onto something here. It's just now it's stay the course, continue to build, and the rest of it is going to work itself out very quickly. It's not financial advice, but he's right.